Monkey Circus. I just watched one of the behind the scenes episodes where you talked about shopping for the show. What are some of the hardest to obtain things you ever had the research team get? The two most difficult things to obtain in my memory of making MythBusters, one was the pump. Somebody earlier mentioned repurposing the chicken cannon to make the firefighting pump. That was an episode for a famous urban legend about a scuba diver found burnt to a crisp in the top of a tree. And as the urban legend goes, he was picked up or scooped up or sucked up by a firefighting helicopter that gets its water from nearby lakes and then dumps them on forest fires. And he was the unhappy addition to this water load that firefighting plane or helicopter had dropped on a fire. Now, the most likely candidate for this is less a scoop than a pump. And there is a Sikorsky Sky Crane, I think that's what it's called, that has this pump and a huge, like 1 foot diameter pipe, and it can pump 2,000 gallons a minute. Yeah. This is early seasons of MythBusters, and nobody would let us anywhere near one of those pumps. We couldn't even get to see one. No one, not the makers of the pump, not any firefighting team. No one was like, that is a precious piece of equipment. No one wanted us to mess with it. Put a diver on the other end of it, So we ended up having to build that one from scratch, which is why we had to take chicken cannon apart. The other one that was weirdly difficult. The most difficult thing to find that we eventually found was lead foil that was 1/1000th of an inch thick. Lead foil is a made object. It is a thing that is used for lining all sorts of different pieces of equipment for radio interference and other reasons. But in general, no, they're not. Stop talking. It's an illusion. Lead foil, right. But lead foil is usually manufactured to about 2 to 4/1000ths of an inch thick at its thinnest. And we kept contacting lead foil companies, and they would say, this happened twice, yes, we can make your lead foil thinner, we just have to set our rollers a little thinner. And twice, we were ready to shoot on a Friday afternoon, we're ready on Monday morning, and Monday morning comes and the factory called us and said they broke their rolling equipment trying to get the lead that thin. This was a process that went on for over 18 months before Jamie got a bee in his bonnet and he was like, I'm going to find it. And he called some company called Epstein Foils out of Germany, and they turned it around and sent us the lead. Not only did they not charge us, which was incredible because it's expensive to make lead that thin, they made it even thinner than we asked for. We had asked for 1/1000th of an inch thick, and they delivered it at 0.7 thousandths of an inch thick. Yeah. 0.7 of 1/1000th of an inch thick. Ever so slightly thicker than actual tinfoil, which was shocking. That was the hardest thing to find that we eventually found. The hardest thing in the whole history of MythBusters, a grenade. Never, ever, ever got to throw or even look at a grenade, which was surprising considering how much C4 and other explosive materials. I mean, over 14 years and 1,800 explosions detonating over 8 tons of explosive material, we've detonated det cord, black powder, cordite, slow-burning bullet powder, C4, Ampho, I mean, you name it, expanding gases, you name it, we blew it up. And for the most part, it wasn't usually that difficult to get the explosive material. And I tell this story a lot, but the main reason was because it was usually given to us for free by the bomb squad we were working with, and they called it a training exercise. Now, you might have laughed when you heard that because that sounds like a funny end run around the permitting, but the answer is actually, one, there is no permit for detonating C4. You can't go get one because there isn't one. You are just not allowed to go near it or detonate it unless you are a bomb squad. Secondly, calling it a training exercise is both an end run around the fact that there is no permit, but it is also true because bomb squads are all constantly training to deal with the unknown. both the unknown that they know and the unknown unknown. And as such, they are contingency planners of the highest order. And so every weird thing we brought to a bomb squad, they were like, yeah, we got to see how this works because we don't even know. Bomb squads universally are some of the most curious, flexibly minded. This is something really true of scientists and bomb squads and other types that I appreciate. Flexibly minded, willing to have their minds changed, willing to try something they've never tried before. Jamie and I found a simpatico set of brothers and sisters with every bomb squad we worked with, seriously. And grenades, right. Yes, I will take grenades, right. I was getting to the point of grenades. So we did the story about shooting a grenade out of the air. We did one about diving on the grenade. That was intense because it totally works and people have done it and it's a horror show. It's difficult to cover that material in a way that is respectful and visual and also, it's the needle to thread. But then when we did the one about shooting a grenade that someone's lobbed towards you, and by the way, if you're at all good at skeet shooting, shooting something that's been lobbed towards you is by far one of the easiest things to do. We didn't want to do it with a real grenade. We're not stupid, but we did, because it was an episode about grenades, we did want to show a positive about how grenades work. No. Just in the same way, there's no way to get a permit for C4. Boy, is there no permit for a grenade. And the insurance company wasn't going to let us it was a combination of everything, but we never, ever got a grenade. We were allowed to fill a grenade with C4 and put a detonator in it to witness the power of one. But that's what we had to do because we weren't allowed to actually remotely detonate one. Yeah, grenade was without a doubt the hardest thing. Oh, okay, so we've got some questions coming in. Ho, Evan Cobbs has gifted tested membership to 10 people during this stream. Thank you. Wow, that is incredibly sweet. Again, tested premium membership is a real boon to our operation, and it means a lot. It might not seem like a lot, but boy, does it mean a lot. Evan, thank you so much. Jman3302 asks, how much fun was it to film at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and get to ride in the two-seater? Being from Indy, I loved this episode. Okay, this was a great episode. It was super, 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 super fun. First of all, I got to drive an Indy car. Not quite at full speed, but pretty fast. I got to drive an Indy car, and I did not pop the clutch. I did not pop the clutch. I was just telling my partner hasn't seen Ghostbusters Afterlife, so we were watching it last night. And after we watched it, we were talking about the set, and I said, "Yeah, I got to drive the Ecto 1 on set." And she said, "How did that go?" And I said, "Well, the stunt driver said." I said, "Can I drive it?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah, I know your work." Super, super, super fun to get the respect from drivers. And the Indy drivers there were like, "Don't pop the clutch. Don't pop that clutch." No one will fault you for popping the clutch, but I really didn't want to pop it, and I didn't. Getting the ride in that two-seater was incredible. I am unfortunately forgetting the name of the wonderful young race what do you call a racer? Driver, the young driver who took me around in the two-seater Indy car. That was a real experience. You have no idea, unless you have an idea, but you likely have no idea how tiring and physically taxing it is to drive one of those cars. Just being a passenger in it felt like I was in a dice cup, and I am not exaggerating. And I am drawing a blank on the name of the young driver that drove me around, but like I got to experience, significant speeds in that thing at high rates of turning, and it was, I've rarely been so exhausted after, 6 or 8 minutes than getting out of that car. That car was built, I believe, for Mario Andretti, and the driver was telling me that Andretti not only can still drive this thing, this is when we were making the episode, and he was in his 70s, but he would do it all day long for all the blue hairs and the investors and the muggy mucks that the raceway wanted to show a good time. He would just keep on putting people in the back seat and take them around at full clip. This young driver was in such awe. Actually, every driver that I met was in awe of Mario Andretti. They were like, just nobody else understands cars at this level he does, and he can drive anything, and he can still do it at a almost competitive level. Their singing his praises was kind of thrilling. That was a great episode. Yeah, so filming at the Indiana Motor Speedway, an absolute bucket list item, and it was every bit as much fun as it looked. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support us even further, you can by becoming a tested member. Details are, of course, below, but it includes all sorts of perks, and we're building them all the time. You get advanced word and behind-the-scenes photos of some of our projects. Questions, you get to ask direct questions during my live streams, and we have some members-only videos, including the Adam real-time series of unbroken, unedited shots of me working here in the shop. They are weirdly meditative. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you on the next one.